Joining us on the news is the House of Representatives Chairman of Ad Hoc Committee on Oil Theft, Gbillah. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7. Well, 48 million barrels is quite huge. That's equivalent to what Nigeria should export in at least 2 years. Talk to us more about the investigation by the House of Representatives.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me. I believe you can hear me very clearly, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let me put a few issues in perspective before I quickly answer your question. Number one, the House did not, or rather the committee did not actually summon the Minister of Finance and the Attorney General. We simply emphasized the need for them to honor the invitation. A formal summons will be issued by the House formally if they refuse to respond to the invitation of the committee. That's the first thing to put in perspective. And the issue they will be addressing is not only the issue of the crude oil theft. They are very key in the issue of whistleblowing, which is part of the mandate of the committee. The committee is not only looking at this issue of 48 million barrels of crude oil that is alleged to have been stolen and sold in China, but we're also looking at the general issue of crude oil exportation from the country in the period under review, which is 2014 to 2022, and the whistleblower revelations and recoveries, which the federal government said they have been making, the expenditure of this amount. So I just wanted to put that in perspective. With regards to the issue of the 48 million barrels of crude oil, these are allegations. We are a responsive and responsible House. We have to corroborate any allegations that are made. We have initiated the investigation, and we're still collating the submissions from different stakeholders. This is all obviously a very monumental amount of crude.
Honorable Gbillah, Chairman, House of Representatives, Ad Hoc Committee on Oil Theft, speaking with us there from the nation's capital, Abuja. If you're there, Honorable Gbillah, you may kindly continue. All right, we would connect again with Honorable Gbillah if we're able to get him. I understand you're there now. Please go ahead with your submission.
Okay, so yes, so as I was saying, the committee has a mandate to look at 3 critical issues. One of them is this issue of an allegation of 48 million barrels of crude oil being sold in China without the remittance of the proceeds into the coffers of the government. The second issue the committee is looking at is the generality of crude oil exports from 2014 to 2022 to ascertain the veracity of the quantity of crude recorded as being sold, the amount of money that is supposed to have accrued to the government from this sale, and the utilization of these funds. And number 3, the committee is also looking at whistleblower revelations and recoveries by the federal government from these revelations by whistleblowers, which the government has come out severally to mention recoveries in millions of dollars they have made. But the House of Representatives wants to know how the government accounts for these amounts that were recovered and how they were utilized. And I pointed out earlier, I believe if you heard me, that the committee did not summon the Minister of Finance or the Attorney General of the Federation. We emphasized the need for them to appear. It is after this further invitation and they do not respond that we'll proceed to approach the House for a formal summons. So a formal summons is issued by the House itself and not just by the committee alone.
So hopefully the invited government officials should appear before the ad hoc committee to answer to these allegations. But then, what is the end? Because we'd agree it's not the first time we're carrying out an oversight function to the oil and gas, Nigeria's oil and gas production. What is the end in this particular scenario?
Well, it is important that Nigerians start to have a very, very
Speaking with Mark Gbillah, Chairman, House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Oil Theft.